Hey guys, here we are Monday again. You know, I wanted to tell you, I want to start it off like this. I don't charge for people to read their calls. We favor that, of course, but I don't charge. And I read all the calls. How I'm going to start today, there's 13 calls that we didn't get to. I read them. I'm going to answer them real quick. These are people who didn't donate. So listen, you guys who donate, I love you. I appreciate it. You don't have to. I'm not asking for it. They're doing it out of the goodness of their heart. So don't other people argue, oh, he's going to read them first. I probably will get to them first, but I get to all of them. So let me have those 13 comments that didn't pay and we didn't answer. I'm going to answer them right now to start my thing off the right way. So let's go. Give me those comments.
I got you, boss.
You got me, boss?
I got you, baby.
All right, boss.
Huge shout out to Betty Antaino. We saw you last week, girl. She dropped a generous envelope. Betty Ann, we love you over here, girl.
And Betty Ann, I love you, and I'm trying to get a picture of you. I got you on Facebook. I'm trying to track you down. And send me a picture of you, because I hate talking to the wall. I mean, listen, I appreciate you. I love your comments, your generous envelopes and stuff like that. But I would love to have a picture and if you can send me one, send it to me. And I'm losing, I don't know what to say, but send me a thing. But you got my attention, that's for shit sure. And not because of the money. Your comments are great and sexy and keeps me alive.
You want to take a sip of coffee?
I need a sip of coffee. All right, Betty, let me start my 2 to 13 people that we...
All right. Dexter Morgan, did you ever partner with Ali Shades at Pastels?
I know him well, but no, I never partnered with him.
Slick Rick 757, what started the John Gotti and Nicky Carrazzo beef?
I'm not sure. They really they didn't get along. They came from the same people and some of the guys that the same neighborhood. I don't know what started the beef, but they didn't really get along.
Fun for Reason, hi again from Estonia. Do you know any bad guys from Baltic states?
No. I don't even know where those states are. Baltic states, where is that?
I have no clue.
Yeah, I don't even know where it is, so I'm sure I don't know none of them.
Rome, Sammy, any stories about Vinny Gorgeous?
There's a lot of stories about them, but I'm going to leave them to my friend Dom. He's got a podcast, and he's talking about the Gravano family, and he knows a hell of a lot more than I do. He's a good friend of mine, so I'll leave that to him.
Mafia Roundtable with Dominic.
Mafia Roundtable with Dominic.
Chad Haps, hi Sammy, did you ever have any dealings with Carlos Macello or anyone in the New Orleans Mafia?
No, it's a little bit before my time.
Nikki Poundtown, did you have a favorite car you owned from back in the day? And greetings from South Australia.
The first car I ever got was a 1963 Chevy Impala Super Sport convertible, white with a black interior, and I felt like a little whore master driving around with my little sports car. So I loved that car. I remembered it, and I had it for a while. When I went into the service, my father knew I loved the car, put it in the garage. 2 years later, I came out, he had it redone, and it was waiting for me. So that was one of my favorite cars.
Billy Ryan, hi Sammy, could you talk about any experiences with Gambino soldier Tommy Agro?
I knew of him. I knew him. He was a made guy, a very tough guy, tough reputation. Didn't have any dealings with him or anything like that. All I knew that he was truly a tough guy and a real tough. I saw him at weddings and funerals and stuff like that, but I didn't know him personally.
AP.26, did you ever meet Sonny Red, or do you have a story about him that was not in the movie Donnie Brasco?
No, Sonny Red, I was young when, his problems came up. I saw him. He was by Beth Avenue a few times. I think he had a club over there. I went in with the old man Peruta, but I had no dealings with him. I know what the story is in that movie. They told quite a bit of the truth. So, and maybe someday I'll do some sort of a video on it, but I'd have to do a little bit of research, to be honest.
S is asking, "Hi Sammy, there were hundreds and thousands of Italian immigrants to Argentina and Brazil. Do you know if there was a mob family there?"
In Argentina, yeah, there was a mob family there. It was created that people from other countries and other places went on the lam. They ran there so they would never go home and they would never get caught. And they formed a small little mafia family. Back in the day when I was in prison with John, I think I told stories about it. I was going to break out of prison, and I was making a connection to go to Argentina when I left the country. If I broke out of prison, I was leaving the country. I was going to end up in Argentina, and I was making some connects, and I was already know that they would have welcomed me with open arms. So, and a lot of them cooperated and took off or whatever. So there is a family there. I really don't know too much about it, other than most of them took off from someplace else.
Awesome. Cornelius Pryor, again in the super chat's got a great question here, Sammy. What are your thoughts on former President Trump getting indicted?
I think it's a travesty of justice. They go after a guy as the president. They don't want him in for obvious reasons. It has nothing to do with breaking the law. It's all bullshit. I mean, listen, let's face it. He went with a hooker. He went with a porn star. Now, of course, he paid her. He was married. He tried to shut her up, and he was going to run for president. My big question is, where is the crime? A crime, someone gets hurt. People get robbed or people get hurt. That's a crime. I don't see a crime here. And the only person who got hurt is his poor wife, had to put up with the embarrassment of this whole fucking thing. And now you want to bring it up, not only to him, his kids, and just, they're afraid of him. They're afraid that he's going to run for president, and they're afraid if he wins, he's going to change this country around again, put it back to, where it was when he was running it. And they're afraid of that. They're afraid of him, and they're trying to bury him. But as far as legal, I mean, I think somebody who jaywalks did worse than what he did. If I was fucking around behind my wife's back, I would try and shut somebody up and pay them. I don't see the crime in that. So he might have used the fund from someplace. Who gives a fuck? The guy's a multi-billionaire. And how about, if you want to bring that up, because people brought that up to me, how about when he became the president, I think the salary was $350,000 a year. He took $1 a year. So he gave back to the country at $350 or $7. That's $1.4 million. And you're worried about if he took $100,000 out of some fund that he wasn't supposed to take it out of? Come on, this is fucking ridiculous, and it's a shame. And I think it's going to backfire on them. I think it's going to unite a lot of people to become favorable, to feel sorry for him, because you're overdoing it. You're hurting him, his family, out of fear. And that's not what the justice system is about.
Did you see the reaction he got when he went to go watch the MMA fight this weekend? The whole stadium just gave him a standing ovation.
Exactly. I didn't see that, but that's exactly what's going to happen. He did nothing wrong. He did a bullshit thing. He did something wrong, but it's so minor. It's almost every man in the world or woman who cheated would want to shut it up or shut it down. And if they paid a few dollars to shut it down, well, I just don't get it. I just really don't get it. And I think, I'm not a Trump fan, but I'll tell you one thing, the country ran great. We had good relationships all over the world. What I'm looking at now is a fucking disaster. I've never seen anything like this in my life. People say he's stupid or this is stupid. No, not even a stupid person could fuck this country up in 2 years like they did. this has got to be on purpose. It can't be because of stupidity. I mean, I'm his age, the president. I'm his age, and I'm not a smart guy. I got 8th grade education. I think I could do a much, much better job. If you're honest and fair, is more important than being smart or stupid. Fair and honest, I think, is more important. But that's a whole nother thing. I'm going to talk about it when I start doing my news station, the Bullpen. We're going to open it up on the website, and I'm going to talk about everything over there.
Amen. Ryan Brown, I could listen to Sammy all day. Did you know any or all Gotti Sr.'s brothers?
I knew all of his brothers except for one. One of them was a full-blown junkie, and he didn't bring him around. And I knew of that he was, I think, a heroin addict or something. And I never saw him. I heard of him, but never saw him. I knew all the rest of them.
Larry Fishkind, Sammy, so good to see you, pal. Did you know Malilo from Newark? He was the bank robber from Goodfellas, supposedly. It was about him.
Malilo?
Mm-hmm.
He was a bank robber from Goodfellas.
Mm-hmm. From Newark.
No, I didn't know him. I saw the picture Goodfellas. I never heard that name. There was a lot of them that robbed that bank.
Okay.
But I had never heard of him, no.
Okay, thank you. Jay Marie, Sammy, can you share some wisdom with us about making hard decisions in life? Because we know their leadership is also in family and in business. Hard choices have to be made sometimes. Thank you, Skip.
Hard choices, especially in the country that we live here now today, with the kids, the schools, the education, there's hard choices everywhere. We have to get used to that, and we have to deal with them as a family, as friends, and try to make things better. That's all you can do. I mean, so there's a lot of hard choices, and what's good is tough love. Sometimes you got to talk to your kids, and you got to be strong. Don't be wishy-washy with them. Be strong. That's tough love. I believe in that. If my son and my daughter were doing something wrong when they were kids, you're not supposed to hit them, you're not supposed to do this, and I didn't hit them, but I've been giving them a boot in their fucking ass to make them know I didn't like what they were doing. So, and I had tough love too. I mean, my mother would hit me with a fucking mop, a rag, whatever, when she, and I was always fucking up, but she was right there. It didn't stop me, but at least I know she had tough love, and she loved me. So, I don't know. I don't know the answer to these things. Better ask Anna. She's a psychologist. She's probably got a lot better answers than I have. But that's what it is right now. Next question.
Great. J.B. Weld, were there any soldiers who were more alpha than their captains? How does a less alpha captain maintain control and respect among those alpha soldiers?
It's rules and regulations, and there's, maybe the captain isn't as alpha as you are, but there's bosses and underbosses and concierges and administrations and rules. And if you want to try to be a little more alpha than your captain or abuse him or do this and that, you'll wind up getting killed. So knowing that if you're a little alpha, you're going to shut your mouth a little bit. You're not going to bully your captain. All he's got to do is go back to administration and say this guy is a pain in the ass or whatever. And there's a structure.
Angelo Lowe is asking, hey, Sammy, do you ever miss New York? And where's the first place you would go if you could go back?
No, I wouldn't go back to New York. I have family, friends there still, and they say, Sam, you wouldn't even recognize it. It's nothing like it used to be. It's a mess. The trains, you go on trains, there's homeless people, there's drugs, there's stuff all over the place. I have great memories of New York. I love New York. I love the people. I remember the bombing of the World Trade Center, how they stuck together, black, white, Hispanic, men, women, you name it. That was New Yorkers. the holidays, lighting of the tree. There's so many beautiful things New York had. It's a shame. It's not like it was. I'm out of there quite a while. I'm comfortable with my life where I am in Arizona. And no, I wouldn't go back. My daughter's there, my granddaughter's there, and like I said, I have some other family and friends there still, but I'm not interested in going back.
Thank you. El Gato is asking, what was Don Carlo like?
Carlo, when I knew him, was really like a beautiful guy. The first time I met him, Tato took me to his apartment. He said, "Is this Sammy the Bull?" Tato told me, yeah. And I asked me if I wanted coffee. He gave me a cup of coffee. He made it, black coffee, a little, lemon on the side. He rubbed it on the side, and is that inside the black coffee? And it was like talking to my grandfather. I was so blown away. The guy was a legend in his time when I met him, and he was a beautiful guy.
Nice. Acapulco Trade Rumors is asking, how did Tommy Sneakers get his nickname?
Tommy Sneakers, how did he get his name? I mean, he must have had either fucked up sneakers or he always wore sneakers. I don't know how he got this name, but it's just common. The name Sneakers. He had to do something with sneakers. Maybe he owned a sneaker company. I don't know.
He was a fast runner.
He's a fast runner. I don't know what the fuck. He went to a wedding with a fucking, a whole suit with a bow tie, or whatever the fuck he's all, and with a pair of sneakers. Right?
Some PF Flyers?
Yeah, PF Flyers. I don't know how he got the nickname.
Harold's Killing Image, sorry, I butchered your name. Hey, Sammy, much love from Western Canada. Do you know if Tony Ducks had anything to do with the bomb that killed Frankie DeCicco, since Vic and Gaspipe were in on it, and he was still their boss at the time?
No, he went to prison. He was in prison, Tony Ducks, and when he went in, they changed the structure. They put up another guy, and I can't think of his name. Gaspipe and Vic killed the guy that he put up, and they took over. And so, no, Tony Ducks had nothing to do with putting them in power, and anything to do with Frankie Chico's head. No, I know that for sure.
How did Tony Ducks get his name?
Tony Ducks got his name because he was always on the lam. He would take off. He's on the duck. He's on the lam. He's missing. He's this. He's that. Every time he heard the cops were looking for him, it could have been for a traffic ticket. He was on the duck. He was on the lam. So that's how they, where's Tony? Tony Ducks? He's fucking on the duck. He's on the lam again. So that's how he actually got his name.
That's awesome. Mr. Hero Brian is asking, do you like Minecraft?
Minecraft?
It's a game. It's for all the gamers out there.
I don't know the game. It sounds interesting, Minecraft, but no, I don't know the game. I've never played it. So.
You spend your time playing chess, a real man's game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, chess, whatever.
Linda DB with her weekly envelope for you. Thanks for being you, Sammy.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and thank you. I don't even know how to answer that, but I appreciate that. That's beautiful comments. See, that's not money that's making me answer that. It's just a beautiful comment and an envelope and giving me something. I don't even know what it is, but I answer those things, and I answer all of them, and I look at all of them getting back to that original thing. So we answered all those people that we didn't answer, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so we're caught up, guys. Let's keep going.
David Wayne is asking, hey, Sammy, what's your favorite drink?
I like vodka. I put a little vodka in my coffee, believe it or not. I take the bitterness out, just a drop. I've been drinking. I've been going to a cigar bar with friends of mine, and I've been drinking Scotch. Scotch.
Mm-hmm. Scotch Macallan, 12 or 18.
Yeah, Scotch Macallan, 12
12. Yeah, you like a 12 or an 18?
Yeah, a 12 or 18. I had 12 last night when I went to dinner, and I what I have. I had the 18. Oh no, 12, and it was very strong.
Yeah.
Maybe they gave us 18. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 18. It was a little stronger.
Sammy, somebody's asking, is it true that you dated Marilyn Monroe?
I wish. I wish. No, I didn't date Marilyn Monroe. I only wish I would have dated Marilyn Monroe. She was gorgeous. She was beautiful, and she was quite a woman, all the way around. You know, aside from her looks and her sexuality, I know people, Sinatra and people who know her, mob people. She was hooked up with the president. She was really a stand-up, good, loyal friend and a good broad all the way around. So, but no, I never dated her. I never went with her.
Nice. Bangin' Blonde from New Jersey is asking, hey, why are you on the set?
We'll say that again?
Why are you on your set?
Why am I on my set? Where would you like me to be?
What are you recording today? I think they're getting the cue. What are you recording today? Season 6 of Our Thing?
Oh, I'm season 6 of Our Thing. That's what they're talking about? Yes, I'm working on season 6 of Our Thing. You know, I can't talk about it much, but I will tell you, because a lot of you asked me this question 100 times and I haven't answered the Iceman story. It's a huge story, and it's going to take us a little time to come out. It's going to be a 2, maybe even a 3-part thing. It's huge, and I want to get it right. And, you know, I obviously know the whole story, but I want to make sure I'm doing research. I want to get times and dates. I don't want to screw up nothing. I want this story is incredible. This story, and I've been talking to friends of mine who are working with the Johnny Keys story. They're telling me that this story is equivalent to that. I mean, it's going to be on that level. If you guys love the Johnny Keys story, which is going to be a movie, I think, in time, in maybe a short time. But this story is amazing, and I'm working on that, and that's going to be part of season 6 with Our Thing. And like I said, you know, I'm starting to expand because there's, you know, I can't go on forever with Our Thing. And I'm going to work on my news station, the Bullpen, and I'm really going to get into this and do it methodically. I really am. And I think you're going to love it just as much as the Our Thing podcast.
Amazing. Mad Cool from Scotland. Paul has your weekly envelope for you. And then we have Cassius. Again, no question, Sam, just to your health. Cheers from Scotland.
No, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Nathan D in the chat, I see you. Hey, boss. Greetings from Sydney, Australia.
How you doing? Sydney, Australia's got to be great over there, too. It's just the sound of the place and the people. I mean, I love it. I appreciate you getting on. And hopefully, if I get off parole someday, I'm going to visit some of these countries, I think. But if I could, if I'm still alive, who the fuck knows? I'll be coming there like in 100 years old with a cane.
Steve Jackson, great show, Sammy. Can you describe what John Gotti was like when he got super mad at you while you were on the streets, not the time in jail?
John Gotti had a temper. I really, very rarely ever really got mad at me. I'm going to give you one quick one, is that I ran the Teamsters Union 283 with Bobby Sasso, who was the head of the union. He was the president. And he sent Joe Watts to talk to him And he went to the union and he said, John Gotti sent me here. Bobby Sasso threw Joe Watts out. I had told Bobby Sasso, you're with me. Anybody comes here and says names, mentions names, you don't have to deal with it. Just mention my name, and if they get out of line, throw them the fuck out. You're a tough guy. You got the union. You got the people there. And so he threw Joe Watts out. Now, when I got back, he was mad as a bastard. So he called me out of the club, and he took a walk with me, and he says, Sammy, what gave Bobby the right to throw him out? He mentioned my name. I told him to do that. To anybody, not particularly to... Anybody could go up there and say, John Gotti told me this, that, and the other thing. If you want Joe Watts to run the union, let him run it. But while I'm running it, I want Bobby Sasso to answer to me, and me alone. Unless I tell him somebody's coming. If you wanted something to be done, John, all you had to do was tell me, and I would have got it done. Or I would tell him, do it. But I didn't know anything about that. But that's the way it was. I can't have people telling him what to do and who sent him, who didn't send him. He would go nuts. And every family could pull bullshit like that. So, and we need them. He's important, this guy. And there's certain things he can't do, or he'll lose his job and then we lose control. He understood it, apologized, and said, I get it. All right, that was it. So he was mad a little bit, but when he understood why that was set up like that, he understood it. I don't remember, listen, every time he got arrested, I was there, I was getting him out of prison. Anybody he wanted dead died by me, mostly. Money came up from me to him was a big, extremely big number. So I don't really remember that much. That you know, when his son John Jr. was married, I was invited with my wife and a few other guys. I went to the table. He came over to the table. He said, "No, don't sit there, Sammy. You and your wife come and sit with me and my family." And I sat at his table. All the families who were invited saw that. It's a sign of respect. So he put me there. I don't remember any real bad things until we got pinched and we went into prison. And then I heard the tapes, the back talk, stuff like that. But I don't really remember him really getting super mad at me at any given time. We were together. We were fighting the world. Frankie DeCicco was dead. Some of our people got shot and killed. Our captain, Eddie Lino. We were fighting the world. We were fighting the government. We were attached at the hip. When I found out he was betraying me behind my back in prison, it literally broke my heart. So I really can't think of any actual bad times. His son died, I was at the funeral. My son got hit by a car, he was in the hospital. I don't remember. My son had his party, he came to the party. My daughter had a Sweet 16 party, he came to that. I went to his family functions. I remodeled his whole kitchen with my powers of construction and connections, and I don't really know or remember anything bad between me and him on the street. In prison, totally different. But that's for another day. Next question.
Nice. Thank you, Sammy. Versin Buches. Hello, Sammy. What was the relationship like between Fat Tony and Chin? Much love and respect.
Well, Fat Tony and Chin were in the same exact family. Fat Tony was the boss. When the true boss of them, and I can't think of his name, died, he left Fat Tony to be the boss. And he brought Chin in and told Chin, I'm going to put Fat Tony, he was about to die, and I want you to promise me you don't hurt him and you back him. And that's the way it was for quite a while. Then Fat Tony stepped down and Chin became the boss. So they had a little bit of a relationship, not too much. They were almost in two different camps, but the same family, the same goal. And they backed each other when they had the position. So I don't think they loved each other, but they respected each other and they dealt with each other. And I don't remember any real outgoing problems or any stories that were that way.
Thank you. Minx, 1986. My tank top just arrived and I love it. So from your merch store. I am going to be posting a picture on my Instagram. Also wanted to say thank you for what you did for my uncle in 1981. You saved his life.
Who was the uncle?
I don't know. He didn't leave a name.
Well, listen, anytime, there's quite a few people that I saved their lives. I interviewed, got in between a lot of different things that I didn't think were just. I wasn't in position to make the final decision, but there's a lot of times I talked and I convinced my bosses or whoever it was, whether it was Paul, whether it was John Gotti, and some people were saved. So, I'm glad I was able to do that. I'm glad it's your uncle, and but a lot of times you don't have total control. And when they got to go, I was there. I did that too. So I was part of some good things. I was part of bad things too. So I don't know.
Pete Martinez in the super chat. Much love, Sammy. Wish all the best for you. Weekly envelope.
Thank you, Pete.
Billy Ryan with his weekly envelope. Hi, Sammy. Could you elaborate on the beef between Jerry Papa and the Spiros?
On the what? Say that again.
Could you elaborate on the beef between Jerry Papa and the Spiros?
Well, the Spiros, Ralph Spiro did a drug deal with Jerry Papa. Tried to fucking rob him a little bit. And Papa had him killed. But I'm glad you brought that up. A little while after this video is done, I'm doing a video. I did it, and I'm putting it out, I think 10 minutes after this is done or something like that, about the rampers becoming a ramper. You're going to hear a story that probably you never heard about the ramper. I went way back from when me and my friends, before we became rampers, we were something else. I'm not going to tell you the story, but you're going to watch it. I think you're going to love it. And I believe it's a 2-part series. So after this, you'll see one part, and then you'll go into the other one. I hope you all run and see it as soon as it comes out. Get your comments back, so I'm going to be able to answer the comments, because I know it's going to blow you away. You're going to hear stuff that you never heard. And it started, I'm talking with Melissa, who comes in. She came in from Jersey, and I'm with her now again. I'm always with her, but she lives out of town. But we went to dinner, and we were talking, and topics come up, and it just wakes me up to. She'll ask me a question. I say, no, this is what happened. And she says, I never even heard that. So that's how this all started. And I did another video about becoming a ramper, what it took, and all of that stuff. So watch it. It'll come out a little bit after this is done. And you guys are going to love it. And it's a 2-part series.
Nice. Sammy, you got a little over 1,000 people active in your chat right now watching.
Great. 1,000. Well, that's good. Yeah. That's good.
Press the like button, guys, and put 1 in the chat if you're ready for season 6 of our thing.
Yes.
Fun for reasons.
And always subscribe. Subscribing is important. It's one of the best things.
Awesome. Fun for reason. Hey, Sammy, do you have any good old-time stories about Lucky, Lansky, or young Carlo? With the best from Estonia EU. All best wishes to your team. They rock.
Thank you so much. Lucky, I guess you're talking about Lucky Luciano and Maya Lansky. They were childhood friends. They grew up together, and he was always loyal to Lucky Luciano and vice versa. And Carlo, there is stories. I'm dealing with a story about Carlo now. We're actually writing it, and it goes back to name.
Lemondoza, Carmine,
The guy who got killed
Anastasia,
in the barbershop.
Albert Anastasia.
So the original boss of the Gambino family, it wasn't a Gambino family, it was Albert Anastasia was the boss. And I'm telling the whole story about it. I'm still doing a little bit of research. I know most of the story, but I want to again look at it, do some research. So I'll be doing a whole thing about that as well now. So we're working on that as well.
Awesome. El Gato, again in your super chat. What's a baloney, Sammy? Like, why do people that's a lot of baloney? Like, that's a lot of bullshit? Is that it?
Well, listen, I mean, I've heard a couple guys use that terminology, a lot of baloney. I think it happens in, more with legitimate people. I haven't heard too many gangsters saying it's a lot of baloney. They'll say, "Yeah, full of shit," or "This is." I mean, that's the terminology I would use if my mother was sitting next to me. That's a lot of baloney. Even then, I would tell her it's a lot of horse shit. my mother would give me a little crack in the face. Don't curse at the table. But I don't use that term. A lot of baloney. And I've seen it in movies, and legitimate people use that term. And I got to tell the truth. I mean, I saw it one time. My friend Michael Franchise uses it every once in a while. It's a lot of baloney, and I like him. He's a good guy, but I don't know. When he told me that, I just fell over. What'd you say? It's a what? Every now and then I break his balls when I tell him, "Hey, Michael, what? That thing you put out a video, that's a lot of baloney." and we laughed back and forth. So, but I don't know where they got that expression. It's a lot of baloney.
It's funny. Ryan Brown, Sammy, here's my weekly envelope. I actually worked with a guy named Pete Manzo. His grandfather was Frankie the Wop Manzo. Did you know him at all?
Frankie the Wop, I became a maid guy in his house, in his basement. Frankie the Wop. And that's his grandfather?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got made in your grandfather's basement. Now, in the basement, I walked down the narrow stairs, and there was a big pool table right in there. So if you go back with history with your family, you could, I don't know if they still own that house, but if they own that house, you could tell them, Sammy the Bull just told me today that I got made with 10 other guys. So did Charlie Boy, Tyler was there, Paul Castellano was there. I mean, so I broke my cherry over there in his basement.
Nice. Robert Manley in the super chat. Sammy, I'm watching the old TV series Untouchables with Elliot Ness.
Yeah, I watched some of those series with Elliot Ness. He was, an FBI agent, a crime buster, whatever the fuck he was. But I watched that too.
All right. Sammy, what do you want to tell them to do? You got 1.2 thousand viewers. Smash the like button, put a hit out on it, put a contract on it. Sammy, what else?
Yeah, we have 1,200 people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you didn't press subscribe, press subscribe. Subscribe is important. Press like. And now my girls are hustling and chatting over there. Somebody, I think, gave me 20,000. Is that true?
Not yet.
And what the fuck are you just giggling and looking at?
Mr. John Ball, your dear friend, is in the super chat, and he's asking, was there anyone you came across during your time in New York that you feared, or for whatever reason?
Yeah. I don't want to try to sound like a tough guy. I mean, I don't fear tough guys. I know a ton of them. Maybe because I was one of them. I understand them. I did fear a fucking maniac. I think anybody would. A Roy DeMaio, a gas pipe, not so much gas pipe, but Roy DeMaio. They became serial killers, and it's another thing. The fear, it's not so much fear. I don't understand what makes somebody like that tick. But once I know how a guy ticks, he's a good guy. Yeah, he killed people. You know, it's the same thing in the military. I don't fear military guys. They came home. Guy's a sniper. He's killed all kinds of. I don't fear him. He was fighting for the country, and he killed people, and I'm not afraid of him. He's just, to me, he's a normal guy. He's a Navy SEAL. They go through special training. All these people. I'm not afraid of them. I respect them, and I don't fear them, but I would fear somebody, if you want to call it that, a serial killer, fucking wacko that don't know what planet he's on. A boss got killed. The guy was the head of the Gambino family. Frankie, whatever, I can't think of his name right now, but a guy killed him. A fucking wacko for no reason. People were saying, oh, maybe it's a mob hit, maybe it was a fucking wacko. Something about he was going out with his niece. He didn't like it. He said something, Frankie, and then the kid pulls out a gun and shoots him and kills him. So that could happen to anybody, So that's what's fear, nuts. Look what happened to one of the Beatles. He had a guy who was stalking him. Comes home, he shakes the guy's hand. How are you? They're loving on each other. Then he starts walking into the hotel where he lives. The guy pulls out a gun and just shoots him to death. No apparent reason. So everybody, I think, fears things like that. Somebody runs into a school and shoots fucking 14 kids. You got to fear people like this. A guy wants to wear a vest and blow himself up to and kill 20 or 50 people. You got to fear people like that. They're sick. So, and it's not understandable. But a guy, who's a tough guy, I'm not afraid of them. I'm used to them. I play cards with them in clubs, not now, but years ago. I'm still in touch with a lot of them. So I don't fear them. I don't have that kind of fear. And the other kind of fear is this. People who lie and cheat, because they always think, what if they know about this? What if they found out? I don't lie, I don't cheat. I don't double-cross my friends. So I don't have that fear. I don't carry that kind of baggage. When I'm with him, I've got no guilty conscience. That brings fear. I don't have that. I'm fair with people. I'm open with people. I'm honest with people. I don't fear them. So because I don't do that. If I did, I might be worried. Come home. Where were you today? I fear that my wife will catch me. I'm not afraid of her. But when you're guilty, you fear things. I'm not guilty of certain things. And now I changed my life. So and whatever happens. So I don't have fear of that.
Nice. Minx 1986 with a follow-up comment. My uncle's name was Joey. He had a run-in with the Westies, and you were able to somehow squash the situation. Unfortunately, a year later, he was murdered by Bulger. Whitey Bulger.
Yeah, I don't recall the situation. This is the guy who saved his uncle. Mm-hmm. I don't recall the actual situation. There was a lot of times, there was a Russian guy who I dealt with him with the unions. He was at the Russian Mafia. He was right next to Bensonhurst. They had their own little area, and he came. There was a whole thing. There was a story that we're going to kill him, and it was Paul Castellano's fault. They were trying to, because he badmouthed Paul and did all these things. They bullshitted to give a reason to kill him. And he came to me and I heard the story. I did a video on it. And I went to Paul and I said, Paul, you could just tell me shut up and mind my business, but he's worked with us in the unions. The guy's a good guy. and he's in trouble, serious trouble. And they're saying the reason is that they want to kill him because he disrespected you. And Paul said, well, that's not true. So then they're just using my name. He said, give me time. He got me back, and he says, I spoke with them. I took care of it. Then I went and see him. Well, actually, he came and see me and told me, Sammy, I'll never forget what you did. You saved my life. I'm not going to be here. They're calling me back to Russia because the headquarters of the Russian Mafia was in Russia. They had a big crew here in the United States, but he called back, and he was alive a long time. He might even still be alive now. So there's a lot of times that I was successful in situations. Half of Bensonhurst knows that, for a fact. So I don't remember every single person or every situation, but I did help a lot of people. But I hurt a lot of people. See, I don't want to sound like a crusader. No, I helped a lot of people. I did. That's part of the life. I lived the life. If I could help somebody, I would gladly do it. If it was come time to hurt somebody and I thought it was justified, and whether I thought it or not, if it came from a boss, I did it. I mean, I've been happy with it, but I did it. So that's, to me, that's the life.
Nice.
All right,
Thank
Joey, whatever.
Thank you, Sammy. Ryan Brown, back in the super chat, what was Tommy Bilotti like? Did he ever do work for the family? I've heard him compared to like a pit bull with shoes on.
He was a pit bull. Tommy was a tough bastard, and absolutely he did work. He did a lot of work. Tough guy, true tough guy. I'm going to tell a story here that maybe I shouldn't tell. Melissa's going to bite her tongue. She's giving me a dirty look. But Jimmy Brown had an adopted son. And I think the kid raised his hands to Jimmy's wife, which is the kid's mother. And he asked for permission to kill this kid, Jimmy Brown. And Paul agreed and gave Tommy Bilotti the hit. Tommy Bilotti and Joey Bilotti, the two brothers, picked him up, put him in a car, and they killed him. And then we were all told not to go to the funeral, which we did. So Tommy was a tough guy. I'm not sure if it was him or Joey Bilotti got hit in the hand. I think Joey did the shooting. Maybe Tommy got hit in the hand, or vice versa. It must have been a little bit of a struggle before they pulled the trigger, and the bullet might have went through and hit the other, one of them in the hand. So, yeah, Tommy was, but a bully. Joey Bilotti was a sweetheart, tough guy, very tough with his hands, much more than Tommy. But Tommy was a bully as well. And when it came time that he was going to get hit, of course he's going to be in the car with Paul, so he's going to get hit, number one. Number two, he was his right-hand man. He was a captain. Paul, if he went away on the commission case, was thinking of making him the underboss, and nobody wanted him to be the underboss. Nobody liked him. I mean, and I hate to say that because he's got kids that are alive, but they might have liked him, but he wasn't well liked. And he actually became more of the target than Paul in the conversation. Mm-hmm. But everybody would shelve that. Paul is the boss. So.
Thank you, Sammy. Cornelius Pryor. Hey, Sammy, you were a rising star in the Colombo family. I wouldn't have released you to the Gambinos.
Well, it wasn't any kind of, if you know the story, I was with Shorty and Carmine Prisco, and Ralph was Shorty's brother, and he created this bullshit story with me and my wife and the whole thing. I did a video on it. I won't tell it the whole thing. And I became infuriated. I got in the car, I went to his house with a gun to kill him. And I went right to the house, knocked on the door. His wife, Ann, came to the door, and I says, tell Ralph I got to talk to him outside. Something important came, because I was going to kill him immediately. And she says, he's not home. Is there a problem, Sammy? He seemed to, like took off. He seemed very concerned. No, there's no problem. When I turned to walk away, I had the gun behind me. She saw it. They saw it. There was a whole big beef about it. The old man, Johnny Rizzo, his captain was Tato, and he went to Tato. The story that Ralph made up about me was so fake, and it was unbeknownst to Ralph. There was guys from 3 different families. All of us were in a bar. So what he said in the story to my wife, which infuriated me, he said one of our guys died, and I tried to pick up his wife, which was a total bullshit. Because she came to a bar, I saw her, I abused the fuck out of her. And everybody was there. So when they found out he was lying, the thing was, they're not going to kill me because they felt I did the right thing. I should have never went to the house, should have killed him, because the way he lied. So they agreed with that. But they wouldn't kill him because he's Shorty's brother. So, being the Gambinos had their nose in it, they talked, and they can't keep us in the same family. They had to make us both promise not to hurt each other. He stayed there. I was transferred over. The story I told earlier that I went to Carlo Gambino's apartment in Ocean Parkway, and he made me coffee. That's what he said when I was there. They were talking up on top, and he says, "Is this Sammy the boat?" So he knew the conversation, but never saw me. So he must have asked Tato to bring me there. Tato didn't tell me that then, but I know it now. So it's.
Got a few minutes left, Sammy. Miss Betty Ann Tavano, Sammy, heart. Please call me. I'll be in Scottsdale next month. Kissy XXX.
Do I have your number? How am I going to call her?
Can I read him this real quick?
Go ahead.
Sammy, Chris says, hey, I just wanted to say hi. I waited on you guys in Tempe last night. It was cool to meet you. Thanks again.
At dinner.
Chris, from last night from dinner, your waiter.
Oh, a waiter?
Yeah.
Oh, my
Shout him
God.
out. Say hi.
Hey, hi. This is the guy. Could I say what I said? I mean, no, huh? No. Yeah, say it. I was with Melissa. I took Melissa to dinner last night, and we're sitting at the restaurant. The guy was great. I mean, really great, polite. He had a beard and this and that and the other thing. So I said, what did I say again? I said, I listen, you were so good, better than a tip. I have a woman I'm going to introduce you to, and she's fat, she's ugly, and she's retarded. But I think you guys are going to make a great couple. He started laughing. He went back in the thing, and he was telling all the other people who were waiters and waitresses or whatever. And he come out. I said, listen, I'm going to give you a bigger tip. I said, because I was only teasing you. I said, but I love you. You laughed and this and that. And what did he say? He commented back, which made it funnier.
As long as she can fit into a rowboat.
Oh, yeah, he says, as long as she can fit in the rowboat. So the kid, I call him the kid, but the guy, yeah, he had a good personality. He took the joke, he joked back, I laughed, we laughed. Instead of giving him like a 20% discount tip, would have came to $18, $19, I gave him $25 tip, and he was happy as a pig and shit. So now he's on the chat and came in. So, Chris, listen, you were a great waiter. The drinks you suggested were good. The food was good, and you were great. You got a great personality, and you got my regards, pal. And I'm going to come back there eventually because of you. You could tell your owners there. And should I give the place a shout out? And Chris could say,
Yeah, great.
yeah. What was it? Cafe Boa.
Cafe Boa.
Cafe Boa, a place. The place is great. And ask specifically to have Chris as your waiter. You're gonna love this guy. He's a great guy. And so Cafe Boa in Tempe, Arizona. We were there. It was great. Great food. Great service. And so now you can show your boss this. Maybe you'll get a raise.
Sammy, we're going to wrap up. We got to shoot season 6. And just if you could give a couple shout outs for some weekly envelopes to Marty, Matt Craig, and Larry Lapper.
Hey, you got a shout out. You want me to repeat those names?
Maddie Gray,
Terry Lapper,
Larry Lapper,
Larry Lapper,
and Matt Craig.
and Matt Craig. Larry Lapper?
Yes, sir.
I mean, is that your actual name? Mm-hmm. Yeah?
His
I would
government
have killed
name.
my father. I would have said, you didn't change your name. I have to go through school with this name, Lapper. I mean, Lapper's a good name. It's a good name. Hey, adios, motherfuckers. Bye-bye.